Are you as elated as I am? 100 episodes.
Buying tickets for concerts. Oh, let's get our AI agents onto buying tickets for us so we don't have to sit on queues forever.
Do you think that Ticketmaster and all of these guys will actually have a business in 2034?
More democratized in terms of buying tickets, multi-sensory, and deeply personal.
Wait, can you bully an AI? That just opens up a whole world of crazy in my mind.
You've got something that is more powerful than you, more intelligent than you. Doesn't mean it doesn't need guiding.
It's gonna prove that you're not the best version of you.
Hello and welcome to episode 100 of Disconnected. I'm your host, Jag Sharma, live and in living colour in Hong Kong. Joined by my co-hosts, Jen Campbell, who's also in Hong Kong, Jason Kapadia in Dubai, and Matt Webster in Rio de Janeiro. And together, we'll be delving into the world of AI, tech, and social media, and how it's impacting society and culture. Coming up, for our 100th episode, we're not looking back, we're launching forward. We're launching forward 100 months. That's all that stands between us and February 2034. It's not a distant future, it's a heartbeat away. In that short time, technology will redefine reality itself. This episode, we confront what's next, our jobs, our entertainment, our very lives, consumed and reshaped by technology. It's a future of giant leaps. The question is, are we ready to take that leap? Guys, here we are, 100 episodes in. We're at Lord's, 100 at the crease, and not out. We're at the Crucible, 10 Reds, 10 Blacks, and the Colours. We're at MetLife Stadium, and we scored 16 touchdowns and 2 safeties. How do you feel, guys? Are you as elated as I am? 100 episodes.
I can't believe we made it to episode 100. This is just, you know what, Jag, you have kept us all going, you know, putting us on the mic, and it's really exciting that we got to 100.
Yeah, I agree. Our fearless leader. How would we have got here without him?
Yeah, awesome to be involved, even though towards the end of the century. But yeah, you've made it. This is amazing.
You've come in just as we hit the milestone. Your timing is impeccable, Matt. You picked us up at the right moment. Do you know what? Before we start on today's exciting topic of 100 months forward, I looked into a few stats. Why don't we do a quick quiz? Let's do a quick quiz. Just shout out the answers. Whoever's first is fine. Okay, here we go. Apart from me, who's been in the most episodes? Jen, Jason, Felina, or Matt?
Jason.
It's got to be Jason.
It is Jason, correct.
Woo-hoo.
But let's find out how many episodes on the next questions. So, this one's about Jen. How many episodes has Jen been on? Is it A, 54, B, 62, C, 70, or D, 78?
62.
I'm going for 62. Yeah, same.
70.
Ooh, Matt, you're wrong. Jen, Jason, you're right. 62.
To be fair, Matt, you did miss the fact I took time off when I had a baby, so I did lose a lot of episodes.
I mean, it's still pretty admirable. 62. It's amazing.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, so we know that Jason's done more than 62, but how many more? A, 64, B, 70, C, 74, or D, 78?
70.
74.
70.
Jen, Jason, spot on both times. Yeah, Jason's done 70 episodes. Maybe you did the counting like I did. A few other facts, just for fun. Felina has been featured on 30 episodes. Matt, 7, not including today's episode. And former co-host Ben Wiggins, remember him? He was with us for 11 episodes. And while we're on the stats, me, I've not done 99 or 100. I've only been on 95 episodes. I missed 4 of them. Missed 4 out of the first 99. The last one I missed was episode 51.
Slacking.
Yes. I need to do better. Okay, couple more questions and then we'll move on. So, apart from Matt, who debuted on the pod last? Was it A, Jen, B, Jason, or C, Felina? Who debuted last, apart from Matt?
Felina.
It's got to be Felina.
Jen. No?
Okay.
Is this a trick one?
I wish I had a drum roll right now. Maybe Dan can input one later. So the correct answer is Jen.
Oh.
Jason David on episode 2. He believed in me right at the beginning. He heard episode 1. He was like, right, get me on.
I'm in.
Yes, sold. Felina episode 12 and Jen episode 13. So Felina picked you there, Jen. And last question, most complicated one, so bear with me on this. The 4 most talked about topics on the first 99 episodes of Disconnected were misinformation, social media, AI, and the future of work. Can you rank these in the order that they were most talked about? So the topics were misinformation, social media, AI, and future of work. Rank these in the order from most to least talked about.
I'm going for AI, social media, misinformation, something of work. Can't remember what the last one was. Future.
I
the
would
future
go
of
something
work.
of work before misinformation and agree with that.
Yeah, I think I agree with Matt.
Okay. Jen, you're wrong. Matt, Jason, you're right. You're spot on. AI,
Yes,
social
finally got
media,
one.
future of work, misinformation. A bit of detail. So AI, we've talked about on 33% of the episodes as a specific topic. I'm sure
I was about to
as
say
a,
that doesn't
as
sound
a-
high enough.
as mentioned as a side topic, I'm sure in a lot higher, but as a specific topic that perhaps I mentioned in the intro, it's 33% of the episodes. Social media, 28%. The future of work, 14%. Misinformation, 13%. And in case you wanted to know, the 5th most talked about was data, privacy, and security at 9%. For specific mentions of Elon Musk in the intro or title was 14%, but you know,
Oh my God.
I'm sure we talked about him way more than 14%. Anyway, thought we'd do a little quiz, seeing it was the 100th episode. Thanks, guys. Thanks for being on this journey with me. Even you, Matt, but obviously especially Jason and Jen for joining really early on. I can't believe we did it this far, 100 episodes. You know, who knows where we'll end up with this, but yeah, thank you for joining, and thank you to the listeners as well. Without you guys, we wouldn't be still doing this. So really appreciate it. Let's get into it, guys. Here we are, episode 100, 100 months forward to February 2034. What will our tech-driven society look like? And you know what? Why don't we kick off with Jen? Jen, 100 months forward, what's your topic? Tell us, take us through. Excited.
Great. Thanks, Jag. So my topic, I am thinking about entertainment and sports 100 months from now. Actually, I'm not going to do this as a quiz, but I have some fun stats for you too. So looking back the past 100 months in the entertainment space. So if we go back to 2017, if we look at Netflix as a streaming platform, Netflix in 2017 had 99 million subscribers. 2025, they are hitting over 300 million subscribers. And if we look at Spotify, 100 months back, 2017, had 138 million users, and they are pipped at the minute to hit 696 million users. So it's fair to say that things in technology and entertainment space can move a lot in 100 months. And so I, much like the way I approach our predictions at the end of the year, instead of doing things that are based on fact, I've picked things I would like to happen in 100 months' time and how they might impact me. So I think there's a few things. I'm going to start with concerts as my first topic in entertainment. So there are a few things I think will change based on things that I know and based on things I'd like. The first thing is buying tickets for concerts. Oh, let's get our AI agents onto buying tickets for us so we don't have to sit on queues forever, waiting for Glastonbury tickets, trying to get Taylor Swift tickets, trying to get Oasis tickets, all those things that people have done over the last year. We're going to move into a space where we have agentic AI. We're going to have AI bots doing everything for us. My number one bot is going to buy me tickets to things I like. And I'm going to set them up so I don't have to do anything. And we're going to beat the bots that currently run this system. So obviously at the moment, lots of ticket scalpers will get tickets through a similar bot setup, I assume. And so this is where I think in 100 months, for sure, this is going to be streamlined. There are, I think, ways to do this, and especially for resale. So I mean, I haven't been on the likes of Viagogo for a really long time, but in Hong Kong, for Hong Kong Rugby, they have a really cool app for tickets, for rugby tickets in Hong Kong. And basically rugby sevens is quite a big thing. Like everyone buys tickets. Every Hong Kong rugby game that happens, basically you buy a ticket, it goes into the app, and then you can transfer those tickets to people, but you have to have their mobile number or you have to bump your phones together and the tickets move between the two. It is the smoothest system for ticketing I have ever seen in my life. And that is where I think things will move to. Things will get more transparent. Your names, your ID and stuff will be on tickets. And I think reselling will become hopefully a thing of the past. So I'm hoping in 100 months' time I can get tickets to every concert I want to go to. The second is viewing concerts. Okay, my bot's not working today, but I can view a concert remotely. And I think Felina touched on this a few episodes back. I think Backstreet Boys were playing in Vegas or something mad. And she was saying how she would prefer to go to that. And I think it's going to get to the point where, you know, spatial computing is going to allow us to have these immersive viewings of concerts that are happening. I think the real life will still happen and people will still want to go. But I do think if it's something you're not able to attend, you're not in the right country, you know, or something really cool is happening, there's going to be way more immersive ways of seeing things. And that might be, I mean, even just look at, you know, Taylor Swift's going to come up a lot in my concert section, but she's just released a new album and millions of people went to the cinema to watch films of her singing the songs on the album she released. Why not make that an in-home experience? Why not have VR versions of it? You know, you can see how that could go down that space. And then finally in this part is attending concerts and how that is going to become way more immersive with wearable technology. So Coldplay played in Hong Kong earlier this year and they're still rocking the 3D glasses that are made of paper and like plastic in the insides, right? So you put them on and everything looks nice in colour, and wearable wristbands that light up when your arms go in the sky and it's synced to the music. That is going to be like the oldest of old school. I mean, it's old school now, but I think we're going to get to a wearable technology stage where at concerts, you know, things are going to become way more interactive. If Meta Ray-Bans are taking off, why not, you know, have glasses that you can wear where you see different things and you see the concert and different viewpoints, recording it, you know, all these sorts of things that would be super interesting. I think it's all leading to a level of interaction and engagement that plays into this, you know, second screening environment that's been around for a long time. Like people's attention isn't captured in one go anymore. And so I think with concerts, we're going to get way more interactive. That's my first thing. Make my concerts better. Hooray. The second is more on sports. And I'm starting with individuals playing sports. So us all in the room today, and how, you know, the rise of your AI agents can become your virtual coach, and how you can have PT sessions and, you know, really have personalized training plans that are set to you. So you are wearing your Oura Ring, your Apple Watch, whatever your wearable technology is, and you're due to go to a workout and your, you know, wearable says, today is not the day for strength training for you, right? You're not in the mood, you've not got the power, you've not slept enough, whatever it might be. We're going to switch up your workout and you're going to do something else instead. It's going to be super dynamic and it's going to be able to kind of predict what you're going to be best at to make you the best version of you. And I can really see that being the way this goes. And, you know, you can get a full debrief on how your workout went, what went well, what didn't go well. I was thinking about it from when I play netball. At the moment, you're not allowed to wear any jewelry or whatever, right? So I take my Garmin and I stick it in my sock just so I know how many steps I get while I play. But, you know, there could be that thing where if you have a wearable and you play a game of like netball or, you know, Jag, you're playing pool, and afterwards you can see all the stats, you know, this is where your heart rate spiked, this is when you did that shot. Like it will bring together the actions that you had during the sport along with your body and how you're actually functioning. And it's getting there. I think it's definitely getting better. I mean, people are a bit addicted to their watches and things now, but I do think there'll be programs and it'll become much more second nature to have that sort of thing. And then I'm moving on to athletes and actual sport in general. So, you know, at the moment, data leads the way that athletes train already. And we're going to see records broken all the time because people are just going to hit peak performance because they're going to have so much data at hand. I was looking at something the other day about how, you know, you can have your digital twin who you can really push to a limit and see, you know, when is injury going to strike? What is your max capacity? When can you do things better? So you don't even have to injure yourself to really push yourself to the maximum. You can have these digital twins that will do that sort of stuff for you. So that's the individual athletes. And then when you come to team sports, you know, like we live in parts of the world, all of us, where our favourite sports are played at times that aren't actually that relevant for us. So can our AI agents be creating quick show reels, bloopers, you know, things you like to see in the sport? Highlights are great, but they're very generic. And what I like to see as highlights, i.e., you know, someone falling over or a fight happening, whatever it might be, it's not really to do with the sport and how it goes. why can't I wake up in the morning and have my AI bot has created me a highlight of all the fun things that have happened in sports? I think that's going to be, it's like the progression from an RSS feed, isn't it? Like we're moving that way anyway, but it will really know what you do and don't like and kind of tailor that to you and be really, really personalized. And even like while you're watching, so if you are fortunate enough to watch it in real time, so many times you'll watch a game. I don't know about you, but especially Formula One that I've got into since Drive to Survive. I can watch Formula One and I'll ask a question like, oh, I wonder why that just happened. And then the commentator will go, that just happened because of X, Y, and Z. And it happens every now and then. I'm like, oh my God, they heard me. But that's what it could get to. It could get to the level of commentary where it's actually individually based, where you ask those questions and the commentator answers you, you're actually, it's not necessarily a real person. It could be a clone of a person's voice or whatever it is. But I think sports will become way more interactive in that sense. And, you could say to your TV, just go back and show me what happened earlier. And maybe it'll give you a clip within a clip, you'll start to see those things. So I'm not shooting for the stars here. I'm not saying, we're all going to become athletes because of technology and things are going to move wildly. But I do think it's going to be super exciting when it comes to sports and entertainment and keeping your interest peaked in things that you really like, and equally suggesting things you would never have watched. Perhaps there was a really interesting tiddlywink competition that happened and I might be interested in something that happened into it. It will show me that, you don't need to limit yourself from what you're shown. And so, yeah, that's my excitement about entertainment and sports. Any thoughts? So much information in such a short period of time.
Yeah, I can't wait for those AI commentators because I'm a big Formula One nut, and they obviously have to make the commentary very generalized for all audiences. But because I've been watching it for so long, I'll be like, I want the most technical analysis going on all the time. And why you keep on showing me these back markers? I want to see Hamilton and Russell, whatever, dueling it out. I mean, I know you can do it already on Sky Sports and just go onto the individual car, but it won't just be the commentary. It will also be like the camera views and everything. And I'm really looking forward to that future. Kind of reminds me of Back to the Future when they had all those screens up. So I'm still waiting for that. So hopefully 2034 that comes around. And also onto your point about the health aspects, definitely, I'm sure that right now we are capturing a lot of data from our phones and smartwatches and all of that. And, it says what your sleep score is, etc. But I think that by 2034, there will be so much more in terms of the actual action that comes out of that. So, if you did have a poor sleep, down 30%, it would try to say, okay, look, we're ordering this protein shake and this creatine blend for your cognitive ability, and that's what's going to be served up for you for breakfast. So yeah, really looking forward to that. What do you reckon, Matt?
Yeah, this is really positive. When I was listening to you, take a quick look back where we are now and then where you think things will go, where you want things to go. I was like smiling, nodding. And what's quite interesting is the bit where my face kind of dropped was when you said cloned voice commentator. And that's the bit that Jason jumped straight onto. So that's just hilarious, the different attitudes towards technology and its progress. But yeah, I've got a bunch of mates who are geeks and they set up and connect all their laptops every year for Glastonbury. And they're organized. They do it. They make the effort. And they take the day off work and they'll sit there clicking all day. And they most years go to Glastonbury. I never go to Glastonbury. And the only reason I would love to go, and I've never been. And the only reason is I just don't have the brain, the bandwidth, the memory. I just can't be asked to sit and click on my computer to try and get tickets. So I never get them. So this would be amazing if I just told my AI agent. I mean, I don't even have to remember. It can just tell it I could tell it today. By the way, Glastonbury next year, get on it. For me and 5 mates. That's amazing. So a very positive review there. Thanks, Jed.
So much to unpack there, because you touched upon entertainment and sport, and bits that stuck out for me. We could see ticketing platforms like Ticketmaster finally be challenged and their time as monopolies or giants to come to an end, or at least be seriously challenged. Because, there could be decentralized ticketing platforms through the blockchain. NFTs could finally have a use. So there could be dynamic utility, and, that could not only does that do away with fraud and scalping, but also it because it's all stored in the digital wallet. It's, it's unique, it's verifiable. So we could be coming very close to a time where platforms like Ticketmaster are challenged. So I like that. In terms of your points, Jen, on the event experience, I've heard a term recently called phygital. Physical and digital. I think Matt will get a kick out of that term.
I have also read that term and not known how to say it, so I've not.
Yeah, I knew Matt would love that term. He's so excited.
No,
he's
my
gonna add it.
face is melting. Cringe factor 100 for the 100th episode. No, please, I
Reminds me of,
that.
guys, do you remember Glocal? When you're trying to be global and local. I'm sure you guys are agency people. I'm sure you've heard clients talk about that. We need to be glocal.
I've seen 100 slide decks that only talk about being glocal and then at the end say, as a summary, we need to get phygital, and they do the Ricky Gervais thing where he puts, the David Brent where he puts his fingers together. Physical, digital, phygital. Tell me, please.
So the I won't use the word phygital again, don't worry. So for the physical event experience, there's like already, have you guys heard of COSM? Spelt COSM.
I was just going to bring this up because it is incredible.
So COSM, for those that don't know, imagine essentially a super modern cinema in a way. Like, I'm really dumbing it down, but a super modern cinema where you still turn up physically to, if there's a COSM in your town, so it's like it's a building, you go in and you're there front row. I imagine a front row experience at a sporting event, but the screen is like completely wrapped around above you, to the side, and in front of you. So you feel like you're at the venue and you've got like the best view, the sound is there, and you really feel that you're part of it. And so we're already there for a physical experience where you could go there with fellow fans of your the same sports team and go and experience the event. But imagine once, these things like these Apple Vision Pro type glasses actually take off and you can do this from your own home and then your avatar is there. It's so where we're heading is impressive. And then I think it deals with a lot of other challenges of the Felina example. She wants to see Backstreet Boys, but she doesn't want to go to Las Vegas. Well, she can go see that through a holographic projection or her holoporting to the event using the spatial computing headsets. I think also there's a chance for interactive participation in there somewhere. I don't know if COSM currently has interactive participation, but I think that there's definitely a level for that. Yeah. So on the whole, events and, experiencing events and going to events, I think the way I see it for 2034, more democratized in terms of buying the tickets, multi-sensory and deeply personal. So it's kind of good, but I'm sure the prices will be expensive as well. Everything's going up in price.
Jen, what do you reckon? Do you think that Ticketmaster and all of these guys will actually have a business in 2034? Or do you think like the AI bots will just be talking to each other and you kind of just lose all the middlemen?
I think they will, because they're still going to have some form of centralized way of getting tickets. But I think Jag's right. Like I actually went down a bit of an NFT blockchain hole and then decided it wasn't quite as exciting as everything else I found. But they are going to have to fix the way they operate. I'm actually really surprised they haven't already, to be completely honest with you. Like, they obviously don't crash anywhere near as much as they used to, but yeah, I think there will be you've got to buy the ticket from somewhere. I think they will definitely have a place, but what that looks like, I really don't know.
Something that Flamengo, which is the club that I follow here in Rio, have done. When I first came to Rio, it was physical tickets, go there, show the piece of paper. Now it's facial recognition, and then also on your app that you have to download, you get given a QR code. It's not an NFT, or is this? I mean, it's a QR code. But if you try and screen grab the QR code on your phone, it doesn't work. So there's some sort of technology there to block the QR code. I mean, we're not talking 2030s, but I've seen this progression of how Flamengo has digitize their tickets. In one way, it makes it impossible or much harder for the ticket touts that used to hang outside the stadium. In another way, I mean, my dad would not be able to buy a ticket for Flamengo. He just wouldn't be able to do it. Whereas 3 years ago, he absolutely could. So am I putting a downer on it here with the ticket thing? Because I was really enjoying this segment. Sorry, I've actually brought it down to a downer, haven't I? Sorry about that. Technology's good. It's okay.
Jen, on the topic you had of the digital twin for like sports training, I could totally see this, not just for athletes, but for everyone, As you rightly pointed out, people are using these Aura rings or these Whoop bands, so people are willing to invest. And, whether someone is a Cristiano Ronaldo or whatever, a Matt Webster, they're still interested in their own physical achievement, how far they can go. As you mentioned, you play netball. So it doesn't matter if you're not a professional netball player. You still want to see how far you can push yourself.
Well, so you think about that from a very positive perspective, but my view of that is it's going to prove that you're not the best version of you, right? So there would be negative connotations to that if you weren't an athlete already, I think, because it would basically, and for some people it would work, right? It would motivate you. It'd say you need to be eating this, you need to be exercising this many times a week, and then you're going to be your optimum version of yourself. I don't need that stress in my life. Like, I'm lucky that I get through the day, so I don't know that I'd necessarily want it unless you can set parameters for it and be like, this is my everyday, this is what I do, because this digital twin's not going to work and dealing with morons. And it's not, like putting up with my 3-year-old who thinks she knows everything when I get home. So you are right. You could for everybody. It's not for me. For sure, it would not motivate me. It would just make me even more angry.
Here's the positive side. I'm going to bring it back to the positive. When you were talking through that and you're putting your Garmin in your sock because you're playing netball, personal story for me, and I am not a professional athlete by any means at all. I used to play football every Sunday, and then I did my calf in. I think I tore my calf. It's pretty much. And so I haven't played for a year, but I'm not important enough in the world of sport, and I'm also lazy. I didn't go to the doctors. I haven't been to the hospital. I didn't have a full check. I don't have a plan. I'm just like, I need to get on with my life. I know I can't play football, and I'm just winging it, just figuring out when I'll be able to get back and play football. I've got no idea. I'm just going on how my calf feels when I go for a jog. That's very non-digital way. And this would just give me my digital twin, if I pulled my finger out and gave it some data and, actually looked after my calf, I could tell it, this is what happened. And then I would actually know how to get back to the football pitch quicker. I'm sure I would be playing football now. If I use that method, I'll be back on the pitch. Whereas now it's been a year and I'm still not playing.
But you know that your digital twin is going to tell you the same thing that going to a physio is probably going to tell you. And you haven't gone to the physio. You're still going to have to do the exercises afterwards.
Yeah, it's easier if I don't have to leave my house, book a meeting with a physio, go and see the physio, do small talk, chat to the receptionist. Instead, it's right here in my living room whilst I'm watching The Walking Dead. Much easier.
Yeah, I think with getting fit and there's a whole social aspect of it as well. Say if you're going to go play badminton, netball, tennis, whatever, and it's just such a faff to try to figure out who's free to play with and all of that. And I think by 2034, it's going to be the more advanced version of Jag's old app, Time Pass, but it's going to be able to, figure out what your friends are up to, and it can just suggest to you, oh yeah, you were saying that you wanted to get a bit fit. Your friends are playing badminton, in the next hour or so. Do you want to join them or something? And you can just offer up those suggestions. You can always say, look, I'm too shattered. I don't want to do anything. And then it obviously won't do it. But if you do ask it, look, I do want to get fit, or it sees your browsing habits and all of that, I think it can lay on those subtle suggestions and say, do you want to just do 5 push-ups or whatever, and, yeah, just be that coach, be that optimistic buddy of yours that you want to just like prod you slightly in the right direction.
I love that because I think it would motivate a lot of people. So your friends are out playing whatever right now, in Matt's case, football. You want to go join them. But remember, you've got a dodgy calf. So let's do those stretches together now. But hopefully the digital twin would have preempted Matt's injury before it happened and said, "Do you know what, Matt? You got terrible calves and we got to take care of them." You know? So
It would say you've got old calves, probably. A little bit more politically correct. You've got terrible calves. No, they're just quite old now, so.
it'll start with all the positives about you, and then it would say, "Oh, but we can really work on your calves." You know?
Like a shit sandwich. Like, look, you're amazing. I love the way you controlled the ball last week. However, you're a little bit too old to be playing football. But, yeah.
You're definitely not too old to be playing football. No one's too old to be playing football.
My wife disagrees with you.
Wow. Let's see when you have your digital twin. Maybe your digital twin will back you up. But yeah, no, I like this, and I'm looking forward to 2034 of how entertainment and sport will be. I mean, it was a meaty topic. I'm probably looking more forward to how entertainment will be. I get your point, Jen, on the whole sports side of it. It'll make a lot of us realise that we're not as good as we thought we were. Actually, there might quite a lot of people that go to my gym that currently have Aura rings and these expensive trainers. What's the brand? On? Bloody expensive stuff. And it seems to be the official uniform of my gym. But yeah, it'll put a lot of them in their place, comparing their performance on their Aura rings. So every cloud. All right, let's move on, guys. Let's move on. And you know what? I'll go next. So I'm going to look at 100 months forward, the future of work. So for our next topic, I want to take us on a journey. Let's step out of the present and into a potential future. A Tuesday morning, 100 months from now, February 2034. But before we step into the story, let me set the stage for 3 fundamental ruptures that have redefined your work. You've woken up 2034. The very bedrock of professional life has shifted. First of all, AI isn't just a tool. It's your manager, your colleague, and your competitor. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2. The second, the physical office workplace has all but vanished, replaced by a perpetual digital metaverse of work. Yep, the metaverse made a comeback that you'll never truly leave. And third, the concept of a stable career has been shattered. All those people on LinkedIn right back now in 2025 raving about their fractional work, their fractional careers. Isn't it wonderful to be fractional? Well, those people clogging my feed are going to win the day because our stable careers will be replaced by a frantic, gig-based hustle economy where our personal data is our most valuable currency. Okay, so keep those 3 points in mind. And now let's step into your 2034 world. The alarm doesn't ring. Instead, the lighting in your bedroom gently brightens to simulate a sunrise. And your AI assistant, we'll call it Overseer, whispers a summary of your day into the air. It's not just your meetings, it's a predictive forecast of your cognitive load, suggesting the optimal times for deep work and even perhaps a 12-minute window for a mindfulness recalibration. You agree with a murmur because you're still tired. Your first interaction of the day isn't with a person, isn't with a loved one. It's with an algorithm that tracks and predicts you pretty well. And you know what? It feels pretty normal to you because it's 2034. You don't commute. Your office is a high-tech headset on your desk. You slip it on, and in an instant, your small living room dissolves. You're now sitting at a virtual desk, your avatar reflected in the glass of a digital high-rise that doesn't even exist. To your left is Jen Campbell's avatar, beamed in from Barcelona, and to your right is a hyper-realistic, blemish-free, wonderful skin Jason Kapadia, who is actually co-working from a pod in Tokyo. Yes, he got sick of Dubai and he went to Tokyo. The feeling is no longer one of novelty, but of routine isolation. punctuated by moments of intense global collaboration. This isn't a distant sci-fi fantasy, my friends. This is a world that's being built right now today, and it's hurtling towards us. The future of work in 2034 is shaping up to be the most profound recalibration of human purpose and identity since the Industrial Revolution. And it's a future fraught with both breathtaking potential and a deep underlying sense of vertigo. But peel back the layers. The most visible change will be the obsolescence of the familiar. The jobs that once proved a foundation for communities, the bank tellers, the data entry clerks, those wonderful middle managers that we get to deal with, they've been largely automated out of existence. We're not just talking about efficiency here, guys. We're talking about the quiet erosion of entire career paths that millions of people once relied on. There's fear there, a legitimate one of great economic displacement. But nature abhors a vacuum, and so does technology. And as these old roles fade, a new, almost alien job market emerging. We're seeing the rise of roles like AI psychologists to treat anxious algorithms, metaverse architects designing the laws of physics for digital worlds, and human-centered ethicists, the new frontline soldiers battling that ethical dilemma of synthetic consciousness and biometric surveillance. The question is no longer what you do, but how you add a uniquely human layer to a technology-saturated world. So, in this new world, the very architecture of our professional lives are being rewritten. What becomes of the core human value? What is the worth in the age of artificial intelligence? Is it our creativity? Is it our empathy? Is it our capacity for ethical judgment in a grey world? Or are we ourselves becoming the legacy system? I'm keen to hear your thoughts, guys. Where do you see the human spirit fitting into the 2034 world of work? I know it was a lot to take on there.
At first, thanks for the intro. That was amazing. It took me on a real journey, but it felt like you were describing a day in the life of Jason Kapadia, to be honest, in Dubai. It was like, the lights, the sunrise, the AI voice whispering the day ahead. I mean, it sounds like the stuff of nightmares, but that's the kind of stuff that's probably going down in many execs' high-rise apartments in Dubai and around the world.
Jason's already there. He's like, hang on, he described last Wednesday.
2034, Jason's World. I'd watch that. So anyway, back to some things that popped out apart from that I totally agree with is this need for the hustle culture. Unfortunately, it does everyone's heads in on LinkedIn, and there's lots of people that talk it up but don't actually do it. But I do actually think it's very unfortunate for those people that work in middle management, for those bank clerks, for those GP receptionists, those people that just like safety, security, no, zero hustle, just a list of things to do and get done. We've talked about this. I've only done 7 episodes, but this has popped up. So you guys have probably taught this up a lot. But that layer is under threat, and I can't see it being in the same place as it is now in 2034. And I think that those people will have to just retire, grow cabbages, and go off into the hills, or start to hustle, start to sell parts of their personality, parts of their expertise. And so I think that's going to be one of the human layers, one of the parts of the human spirit that's going to have to stand out in a technological, obsessed, saturated world. Am I sounding like I'm obsessed with personal branding? This is not about personal branding. It's just there will need to be more hustle, because the introverted data processing, data analysis is going to be done by machines. So you're going to have to stand out by being weird and an extrovert.
Being more human. Yeah.
Yeah, but humans are also there's lots of humans that don't like to show off, don't like to hustle, don't like to sell, don't like to be the loudest person in the room. So it is also human to be quiet and introverted, and and to think and do long pauses. Like Elon gets away with doing long pauses because he's the richest person ever. But there's lots of people that are like Elon that aren't rich. They're going to be affected, is my thought on that. That's what I meant.
Yeah. It's interesting because like the old anchors. So like when I talk about the gig economy and all of that stuff, I find that the old anchors, like the pension, the corner office, the gold watch, all of these things that people have kind of got accustomed to, like things that they expect perhaps over a 40-year career, it's all going to be gone. And I think what might build on your point, Matt, is that our motivation must now come from within. In a way, we need to pursue mastery for the sake of its own sake. And also, we're going to have like micro bonds. So if we're all moving to not having long-term careers in the same companies, and we have to go from fleeting project team to fleeting project team, and it's like we'll have to make quick bonds with other humans and also other AI agents over short periods of time, and we'll need to have a human purpose that a machine cannot replicate so that we continually add value. And we'll probably have to continually learn as well. We have to continually learn now anyway, but we'll probably have to continually learn at an even kind of faster rate than ever before. So those kind of elements seem quite daunting to me as well.
What I would say about that, though, is it's a form of evolution, right? Because if you think back not that long ago, and I just think about my husband's grandparents who worked in the coal mines and had very different skill sets, right? And yes, we're moving at a much, much faster rate now. And I get that that's where it's scary, because previously you could probably be 45 and say, well, I'll see out my career, so it's not going to affect me. Whereas you can't do that anymore, because literally in the next 100 months, as we've just predicted, your job is going to change. So it is a form of evolution that is scary because it's unknown, but also quite exciting in that you could do anything you put your mind to with this sort of thing, right? Yes, we should always all be learning. And okay, people have different amounts of time to apply to that. And there are constraints with people who don't have necessarily like the technology or whatever it might be. There are certain constraints, but within everybody's capability is the ability to learn in our way, shape or form. And so I think, especially over the last year, I've really come around to this idea that it's not as scary as people think. And yes, middle management, or, that the gig economy that you're talking about, and people who aren't used to using technology in their day-to-day lives are going to be impacted. But they have the smallest bit to learn, in my opinion, because even if they learn a tiny bit and become technology minded, they open up a whole world that wasn't available to them before. The people that need to worry are the people who are already, people like me, to be completely frank, who already work in a digital world, and I have the capabilities of doing certain things, but I don't have the analytical mindset right now to figure out how I apply it. So that bit's harder. So I actually think if you look at it across everybody, we need more people shouting about the fact it's not as scary, and actually everybody can learn something that will open up a whole new world to them. And that's kind of where I'm at with it at the minute, I think.
In doing research for this topic, I already found out what role I want to have in the future, in this 100-month future. In a world where we'll have to coexist with AI, I think, guys, and I mentioned it in the intro of this topic, I think I'd make a great AI psychologist. And yeah, so I'm going to look into that. So what does an AI psychologist do? They essentially
sounds so weird.
They're a specialist who ensures that complex AI systems are stable, ethical, and understandable. So these are some of the core responsibilities. It sounds super cool to me. So they look after the mental health of AI. So identify and fix like AI delusions that we sometimes see. So, when an AI invents false information but states it confidently, detect and correct the model drift. So find where an AI's performance has become unstable or erratic over time, and then work with that AI to rehabilitate them and to make sure that they don't become corrupted by malicious data. So that's one of the core things.
Wait, can you bully an AI? Because that just opens up a whole world of crazy in my mind.
if I become their assigned AI psychologist that their owner is paying me by the hour, and I've got the AI on the couch, then I guess I become their Dr. Fraser Crane or their Dr. Niles Crane and take them on a journey.
You know what this is going to end up with, don't you? Jag on LinkedIn saying, I gave up my career to become a coach and look how much I can help your AI bots. That classic LinkedIn post.
No. Instead of my 5-year-old drew this on the train this morning and looked up at me and said, Dad, why don't you own another B2B company? Instead of that, it'll be, my AI looked at me this morning and asked, and then he'll link it back with a shoehorn into his business on it. That's going to happen in 2034 from Jag.
Hopefully LinkedIn will develop a lot in the next 100 months. We should have done a whole episode on that. Improving LinkedIn in 100 months.
Jag, would you be comfortable talking to an AI all day? Being an AI psychologist means that you literally need to be talking to it the whole day to understand its responses and how it's evolving, etc. And because it's like billions or even trillions of parameters, right? So you need to be asking things in all different types of questions and responses.
Jag doesn't even like talking to us on this. Never mind speaking to people outside of Disconnected.
but guys, being a psychologist, which is what I would be, I'd also need to act as a mediator between the multiple AIs working together and also the human that is involved with them, or the humans. So I'm resolving conflict, communication breakdowns, optimizing human to AI teams, making these teams be more transparent, trustworthy, reduce friction, so I'll really be like solving relationships, human AI relationships.
Sorry to put a dampener on this, Jag, but they're building these, they've got Titan, these computational units that are like the size of cities that they're building in Texas. If we go back to Fraser Crane and you've got your AI on the couch, I mean, in my mind, it would be like the equivalent of a mouse, which would be you talking to a neutron star, and somehow the neutron star has to listen to your snippets of squeaks of advice, like light years away from where it is. It's just, how does that work? I mean, it's like Jason said. First of all, let's say if you were an amazing AI psychologist, better than Fraser Crane, at the end of the day, you walk into a bar and your brain's going to be fried.
So, guys, we already take advice from people on LinkedIn who give us 5 slides worth of advice and then we follow it. So on that, I think advice and, expertise can come from a variety of sources, but also, jokes aside, there is that personality side that AIs just don't have. And so overseeing an AI's continuous learning, having a human overseeing AI's continuous learning can help to ensure its growth in a stable, beneficial way, responsibly shaping an AI's persona for specific roles. The whole point here is to guide. You've got something that is more powerful than you, more intelligent than you. Doesn't mean it doesn't need guiding. Okay, let's take a look at, I mentioned power. The best boxers in the world still have coaches. The best fighters in the world still have coaches. So even if an AI is a genius, it still needs to be guided. And that's the role of humans. And then secondly, Matt, I just came up with this idea for this role. Don't poo-poo it straight away. Let me live out my dream of being an AI psychologist for at least a week.
No, it sounds amazing. I'm sure you'll get the job.
Hopefully self-employed, start my own consultancy, Embracing the future, guys, embracing the future. Right, I'm going to go off and get a psychology degree and I'll take it from there. Do you know what, guys? We've run through this episode and we only covered Jen and my topic. So here's what I'm going to propose. Episode 100 is going to roll into episode 101 or 101, which has different connotations. And we will hear what Matt and Jason have to say. And we might even get other people involved. Hopefully Felina will be back for that episode. So we're rolling forward 100 months forward with Jason and Matt's topic on episode 101. But for today, we'll wrap up. Thank you, listeners. Thank you for joining us for episode 100. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, listeners. And thank you, AI, for any AI out there listening. And if you need an AI psychologist, reach out to me. on LinkedIn. I am here and I am ready and I am waiting for you. 10,000 Hong Kong dollars an hour. Thank you very much. Right. This has been episode 100 of Disconnected, and we'll see you on the next one.